we're gonna start off by making the bottle. And so the first thing we're gonna do is select the light, delete it, select the cube, delete it, add an 8 vertice cylinder. You can make sure it's 8 vertices by clicking on the drop down here and modifying it. Then we're gonna add a subsurface modifier to this vertex, to the cylinder. Once we have that, we are going to go into edit mode, X-ray mode, front view, and we're gonna inset the bottom faces with the goal of trying to make it look like a bottle, more or less. So select all the faces, I'm gonna scale them a bit here, and then we're gonna keep scaling this until it looks like a bottle. So extrude up, maybe like that much. Extrude sideways, more like that. Extrude up a little more, and then scale it down. Extrude them up, extrude them up, extrude that second one, scale it, and extrude like that. Maybe select these top ones, scale them a bit down. That looks pretty good. Maybe make this, guys, a little down, but apart from that, yeah, base a little thicker. But that looks pretty good. Then go to face select, go to top face, and delete it. Delete faces. Perfect. So now we're gonna apply a solidify modifier to make it a little bit thicker. So search for solidify modifier, move it above the subdivision modifier, make it about 0.2, and apply it. So now we have thick bottle, and what we're gonna do is gonna go back into edit mode, select vertex mode, select this upper rim without, and just click on the line over here, select extrude, right click so it stays in place, and then you're gonna go right click again, separate selection, so now it's a different object. You're gonna go and select that different object, and you're gonna go to front view or back view, doesn't matter. You're gonna move it up slightly, maybe like that much. You're going to go into edit mode, select it all, press F so it fills a face. So now I have face. And you're gonna go back to front view, of course X-ray mode, and you're going to go E to extrude it, extrude down, maybe like that much, maybe move everything up so it's a little higher. That looks pretty good already. We'll scale it up, scale it down a bit. Select all, maybe move it a little down. That looks relatively well. Just move the vertices. So it looks a little there. That's pretty good. So now we have our bottle, and we're gonna go select the bottle, materials, new material, just name it bottle, and go to surface and search for glass, BSDF. That should work pretty good. Maybe like reduce the roughness to 0.2, IOR to 1.5. Now go into the corkscrew, new, rename it corkscrew. And just change the color to something like a corkscrew, more or less. You can go into material mode to see what it looks like. So something like, I don't know, brownish. In there somewhere. Right. So now we're gonna go into render. Make sure you're rendering in cycles with your GPU. Now you're gonna have no light. So you're gonna go into world right here and select a color, which, I mean, right now we don't need anything, so just, you can go bright to see what you have, or less bright, doesn't really matter. And as you can see, we have some lines here, we'll fix those later. Okay, so now we have our bottle, right there, perfect. We're going to go add plane. We're gonna scale that plane up. And now we're gonna select our bottle, deselect our plane, and move those objects until they're about resting on our surface. You can move here and see, it should be about the line. That's pretty good. Okay, so now our bottle is resting, so now we go here again, scale up a bit, maybe we don't need that much. Change to edit mode, select the back edge by going to edge mode. Extrude that. Click set to extrude in the set axis. Maybe like that much. Select all the object back in object mode. Go to modifiers, add modifier, search for bevel. And now just add a normal curve, maybe like 0.75. And just as many segments, so it's curved. 42 seems to work. So now we save everything. Are we gonna be doing a little more of a complex part of the tutorial. So select everything, click H to hide it. Don't worry, you still have it here, you just hit it. And now we're gonna go world view, just make it all black. So we can see our galaxy that we're gonna be making. So add a cube, scale that cube off, but click Shift C so that you don't move it in the C axis. And I just click 12. That should make it big enough. So now we have this platform, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up here when it becomes like this, right click, horizontal split out halfway, and then we're gonna go here, shader editor, and we're gonna add a material which is gonna go called galaxy. And so what we're gonna do in this galaxy is, first of all, delete this first principal BSDF, we don't need it. Add a principal volume. And this is what we're gonna be starting with, connected to the volume node. And emission strength, go with 1 for now. And remove density, so density 0. So this is gonna be a little more complex, but we'll get them. So first of all, search for gradient texture, because what we want to do is that spinny shape, right? So gradient texture, and then click on the vector node, connect it and go mapping, because we're gonna map that texture so we give it the look we want. And then connect the vector to a texture coordinate node. But make sure it's in objects, not in generated. And we're gonna connect that color to our emission color, right behind our emission. And it might look a little weird because, first of all, we have to select in the gradient texture a spherical texture. And then we have to go to our plane itself and select Ctrl A and apply the scale. And you're gonna see we're gonna have this little ball in the middle, but that's what we want, because now we can go into the mapping coordinates, select the first two, and just click something about 0.08. That should make it big enough, as you see. Now we have a full circle and it looks less big on the outside, less dense on the outside. So now we have this very basic texture. And also remember to turn up the C axis a little bit, maybe like 0.6, 0.7, something like that. So that when we add a big ball in the middle, it highlights here as if it was the center of the galaxy. So now what we can do is we have the circle, right? And that's fine, but we want more details. So we're gonna add a noise texture right here on the top, and we're gonna be adding the gradient texture to the noise texture. But before we do that, let's see how the noise texture looks like. So we're gonna go here, change it for the emission color, maybe add like a color ramp so we can see a little bit of a difference. Something like that. Maybe move the black node about halfway would be good. You can also move the white a little closer. Just click 0.5 here, it's the easiest. And then we have this texture. However, as you can see, it gets all the way here to the edge. And that's what we want. We want this spiral, right? So we're gonna go color, mix color, put it in here. And we're gonna add our previous color in the B. And you can see, if we bump this up almost all the way, now we get our circle. One important detail though, I forgot, is to change this to multiply. And you can see now, we have this cool, kind of like a spiral, but not really shape. But this is getting a lot closer. If you think about it, what we basically want to do is make this shape be a circle. But we already have a circle back here. So what we can do is go and put this object into our vector to start. And that makes it weird, and it's like really long and squished, and it's a really weird pattern. So basically, if you add here a mapping node right here, and that's pretty good. That makes it a little better. It's not as squished. You can also edit right here. It'll get closer. About 2.2 should be fine. The scale. That doesn't look as squished anymore. It looks long, it looks better, it has some noise. That's pretty good. We just need to change the rotation now. Fortunately, if we move all these guys back a little bit, if we grab this gradient texture now and we plug it into the rotation, look at what happens. But we still are missing something. It doesn't look quite right. So we're gonna add a converter node, plug it in here, change it to multiply, and just go to about 4.2 maybe, and you see how we're getting a circle now? Looks a lot better now, but we can still make it a little better. So we're gonna go and not convert XYZ though. Combine XYZ, plug it in, and plug this into the C. And look at that, that's looking very good. Last thing here, we're gonna duplicate this multiply node right here. We're gonna change it to a power node, power right here, and just change it up a bit to however much you want. Doesn't really matter. You can go back to 1 if you want. That's pretty good. Nice. Now we have our circle. And so now that we have a spinny shape, we're gonna go over here to the front and we're gonna duplicate our color ramp first of all. So you can edit our colors afterwards, but change that to B-spline. We're gonna have a little bit of a node here. It's gonna look not like much, but still not done. Duplicate this multiply node and change it to a mix node. And just set a factor to 0.5 for now. You're probably thinking, this is such a weird shape, why are we doing this? What we're gonna do is go back here. What you're gonna do is add another mapping node, or you can duplicate the one on top. So we have this mapping node, but make sure to reset these two values to 1 for now. So you can select both, reset them to 1, that's good. So now we're gonna go up here, enter our object, also into here, into our vector, take our vector and go into a gradient again. Gradient texture, make sure it's vertical. We're gonna have it here and we're gonna connect that gradient texture all the way over here to our second mixer. Now we're gonna change it to Av. As you can see, it's little now. Again, it's all the way in the center. Tiny, tiny little galaxy. But what we can do is go back here, select these two guys, and now set them both to 0.8. You're gonna go all the way here and change this outside color ramp to make it a little bigger, maybe bring this closer, bring this farther, where it seems okay, and look at that. How nice galaxy with a nice bump in the middle. So that is the idea, and now we can go into this textures that we have back here and maybe edit them a little bit. Just edit them overall. Looking better. Maybe edit this size. So just edit your values, find whatever you want and you like, and we'll keep going. One last detail we're gonna add is we're gonna go back here, down here. Maybe change these two values again. 0.4. That's nice. Okay. So from there, we're gonna add a color ramp again, right here. We're gonna set it to B-spline. What we can do is add a third in between. That's maybe a little darker, not infinitely dark, but a little darker. That looks nice. Just play with the values a little bit, see what you like. So now we have all these nodes right here, and that's the first part. We just need color now. So we're gonna select all of these nodes. We're gonna hit Control J to join them as one thing. And you can change the name of it and everything, but just move them up a little bit. How about that? What we're gonna start doing now is our color. So go again and add our mapping. Right about here, would probably look good. Yeah, we'll have enough space. Now add the texture coordinate. Perfect. Connect the object to the vector. Same thing as always. This vector, we're gonna connect it to a texture, Voronoi texture, right here. Connect the vector. So now we're gonna add a little bit of detail before adding color. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go up here again, and we're gonna add a noise texture to add some noise. Noise texture right here. Color mixer right there, and connect this noise texture all the way here. I'll leave it in 0.5. This already looks cool. It looks like a painting. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna change it from a mix, simple mix, to an overlay, which should be here, overlay, and just bump it up. It's better. There's some outside parts, as you can see here. And what we're also gonna do is we're going to duplicate this noise texture right here. Connected, and to this vector we're gonna connect texture coordinate, not generated though, but object. Not into scale, but into here. So we're gonna move this a little bit, copy this. You can go Control-Shift-A to copy the links too, and you're gonna change the A part to be in between here and here. What we can also do is we can go up here or have this texture. Duplicate this noise texture here. Anyways, so connect this vector also. Now we can put it out here. We're gonna copy this color ramp, connect it up, same as up there, and go add another color mix. Add it about here, put it on. And maybe go to overlay too. Crank it up. And you can edit a little bit more here. So if you want more volume or less volume. And don't forget to change the scale a bit. Maybe go to around 5. There you have it. There are some edits we can make to make a little bit better noise. So now we just need to color our galaxy. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to this that we prepared earlier, but we have to change this texture because it's not actually a Voronoi texture, just a gradient texture. So select the gradient texture, connect it to our vector. Down here, you change the values to about 0.08. We have connected to object, that's good. And then we're gonna go up here and add a color mixer. right here, select color, put it up, and plug it in. And right now it's not gonna show anything, but we are going to go to a color ramp. And instead of just using black and white, now we're gonna go and add colors. So add about 3, choose colors that you like. I liked yellowish in the center, then pink, and then on the outside blue, like turquoise blue. And of course right now it looks weird because we need to change it, the gradient texture, to spherical. So it has our shape. Move the blue a little bit so it's farther in, move the pink also. Just keep playing with the values a little bit. There you go. We are done with our galaxy. So now you can close this window or just move it back up. We can go here, change our color of the world back to something like that, maybe. That should work. We can go up here and unhide everything. And look at that. We have this really cool galaxy now. Even when you render it, it looks cool. But we have it outside, so we just have to put it inside. So we're gonna scale it down first. Move it up, G set. Maybe rotate it a bit. Something like that. How's that look? How's that in the middle? Okay. Maybe rotate it a bit more on the Y. So it's more like lifted up so we can see it. And then just scale it down a bit. We're gonna make the world brighter. Backdrop. Okay, let's create a 1-0. Backdrop. Just make it really dark so we can really see our galaxy. So keep editing the galaxy, and once you're happy with the result, you can keep going with the camera. Right there. We're gonna move it to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, reset every value. Now we're gonna go X maybe 10, Y 5. It's pretty good, just rotate it in the X for 90 and on the Y for 19. And now we have a good camera. So now we go camera view. And we can go into objects to see this better. Move a little way. 9 of the object, move a little up. So now we have that. So we're into camera, instead of 50, put 30 maybe. So now go here. Go into world. Change our lighting. Make it maybe in between. Something like 0.5 for Raleigh. How does that look? That's looking better. And now go into the bottle, and this is important. Modifiers. Change it to maybe 4, or let's just go with 6 so it's very nice and smooth. But you have to apply this modifier. And now we just go world, ray visibility, and you want to remove glossy. So it's better rendered. And just keep editing out of it until you like what you see, and then just render. And once it's rendering, it'll get rendered and you'll have a basic image, and from there you can add some post-processing. You can add some more special details you want, you can change the colors, you can just be creative. And after a lot of tweaking, this is what our final render looks like.